What's going on, gang? It's your boy Tone2loc, and I'm back with another reaction video. We finna run to this video. I ain't really got that much to say today. Like what you sub line with me, hit that sub button, hit that like button, comment something for your boy, follow your boy on the gram at Tone2loc. Join membership, gang. I got some videos over there that I want to show y'all. Lock in. I'm finna get right to the video.
In October 2024, a young mother sent a series of desperate text messages to her friends, showing them fresh bruises and bite marks. These weren't just signs of abuse. They were warnings of a meticulously planned revenge plot that had been in motion for months. Mary Jane Collins, 23, thought she had found love. Instead, she had walked straight into a trap set by a man who spent 4 months pretending to care for her, all while plotting to destroy her. The truth would emerge through a chilling video call that captured her boyfriend taunting a prison inmate, followed by the sound of a child crying. Hours later, Mary Jane Collins was dead. But this wasn't a simple case of domestic violence. This was revenge, cold, calculated revenge against the father of her children. Her new boyfriend hadn't chosen her by chance. He had selected her specifically, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The reason? A 4-year-old murder case that connected all of them in ways Mary Jane never knew until it was too late. Mary Jane Collins was more than just another victim.
All you gotta do is
Oh, you've never used samples like this before. This is
You
arcade.
ain't got YouTube Premium either.
She was a devoted 23-year-old mother of 2 boys under 10. Living in Seabrook, Texas, she had recently moved into the Teakwood apartment complex, hoping to build a better life for her children. Friends described her as resilient and loving, always putting her sons first, despite the challenges of young motherhood. She worked hard to provide for her family, even maintaining a relationship with her children's father, Michael King, after his incarceration, to ensure her boys had that connection. In June 2024, when she met DeWayland Hurst, Mary Jane believed she had found someone who would help her create the stable family life she dreamed of. She had no way of knowing that this relationship would lead to her death. Before we delve deeper into this devastating story, I need your help with something important. Cases like Mary Jane's often go untold, but together we can change that. If you've ever known someone affected by domestic violence, or if this story has touched you, leave a comment below with a heart emoji.
Drop a comment,
Your
man. Drop a
comment could help someone else feel less alone. This video contains crucial information about recognizing dangerous relationship patterns. Share it with someone who might need to hear this story. It could save a life. Hit that like button to help this reach more people, and subscribe to join our true crime community where we bring attention to cases that matter. Let me know in the comments. What would you do if you discovered someone close to you was in an abusive relationship? By early 2024, Mary Jane Collins had established a routine at the Teakwood apartment complex in Seabrook, Texas. Each morning, she'd wake her 2 young boys, get them ready for school, and head to work, carrying the responsibilities of single motherhood on her shoulders. Her apartment, though modest, was filled with evidence of a mother's love. Children's drawings on the fridge, toys carefully organized in corners, and photos of her son's milestones covering the walls. Those who knew Mary Jane spoke of her determination. At just 23, she had already weathered significant challenges, having her first child while still a teenager. Yet instead of letting this derail her dreams, she worked harder, ensuring her children never felt the weight of their circumstances. She maintained open communication with both fathers of her children, believing that despite past relationships ending, her boys deserved to know their heritage and family history. Her grandmother's house became a weekend sanctuary for the family. Here, Mary Jane's boys would play in the yard while she shared her hopes and dreams with her grandmother. She spoke of wanting to return to school, of plans to move into a bigger apartment, and of her dedication to giving her sons the stable, loving home she envisioned. What made her story particularly poignant was how close she had come to achieving these goals before this connection, even after King's incarceration. What no one could have predicted was how King's past actions would eventually lead to Mary Jane's death. The murder he committed in 2020 set in motion a chain of events that would take 4 years to reach their tragic conclusion.
Wait, this whole time
Video calls he made from...
Basically, they trying to say that Mary Jane got killed by the dude that was in with the dreads or whatever, or however it happened. But basically because of her baby dad or her ex-boyfriend murder case that he had, and 4 years later the dude got out, whatever. But that's what it
would later become crucial evidence in understanding the final hours of Mary Jane's life. The morning DeWayland Hurst first approached Mary Jane Collins at a local convenience store marked the beginning of her final 4 months alive. He struck up a conversation while she was buying snacks for her children, commenting on the character logos on the packages and sharing a story about his own childhood favorites. Mary Jane, touched by his easy way with her boys who were with her that morning, found herself drawn into conversation. What appeared to be a chance meeting was anything but. Hurst had been watching Mary Jane for weeks, learning her routines, noting when she usually shopped and which store she frequented. He knew which cars she drove, where she lived, and most importantly, who...
This nigga stalking her, bro. This nigga stalked her. As soon as he got out, he had a missing. He was planning every day. If when he was in jail, every day he planning. Yeah, when I get out, I'm gonna go. Like he planned it out. He had to, gang.
Children's father was. That morning, he arranged to be at the store at precisely the right time, carrying the right conversation topics to seem relatable and safe.
Right.
Within days, he began appearing at places Mary Jane frequented, creating more accidental meetings until she came to expect and welcome his presence. The first months of Mary Jane and Hurst's relationship painted a picture of normalcy that fooled everyone around them. Hurst masterfully played the role of the devoted boyfriend, showing up at her apartment with home-cooked meals and offering to help with childcare.
Hey, this nigga real life smart. He's a smart backdoor nigga. He coming up with, he bringing meals, he making sure the kids straight. He at family gatherings, all type of shit. Just the bag, oh man, it don't make sense, but it makes sense. It's like a
through
movie.
Disney movies with her boys, helped with homework, and even volunteered to drive them to school. Friends observed how Hurst seemed to understand the challenges of dating a single mother. He respected when Mary Jane needed to focus on her children and appeared supportive of her maintaining a co-parenting relationship with her children's fathers. He even encouraged her to keep up the video calls between her son and Michael King, despite privately harboring his true feelings about these connections. On social media, Mary Jane shared photos of happy moments, Hurst teaching her eldest son to ride a bike, family picnics at the park, and quiet evenings at home. Her grandmother later recalled how Mary Jane had spoken of finally finding someone who understood that her children came first in her life.
This is crazy.
By late August, subtle changes in Mary Jane's behavior caught the attention of those closest to her. Her usual Thursday coffee dates with friends became sporadic, often canceled at the last minute with vague excuses. Her once active social media accounts grew quiet, with fewer posts about her daily life and children. The first physical evidence appeared when Mary Jane visited her grandmother with a bite mark on her face. She brushed it off as a playful accident, but her grandmother noticed how she flinched when Hurst called during their visit. That same week, a friend spotted Mary Jane at the grocery store, wearing a long-sleeved shirt in 90-degree Texas heat.
How to get paid to get smarter. Join eToro's Learn and Earn Challenge and earn cash. It's easy. Go to eToro.
So don't even judge me.
Text messages to friends began showing a pattern. Mary Jane would share photos of bruises or marks, followed quickly by messages asking them not to worry or tell anyone. She explained them away as accidents, bumping into doors, falling while cleaning, playing too roughly with the kids. But her friends noticed something else. These accidents only seemed to happen when Hurst was around. September brought a sharp escalation in Hurst's behavior that Mary Jane could no longer hide. During a birthday party for her youngest son, friends noticed how Hurst constantly hovered nearby, monitoring her conversations. When Mary Jane spent too long chatting with a neighbor, he he grabbed her arm so hard it left finger-shaped bruises. Her phone calls to friends became whispered conversations from bathroom stalls or quick calls during her lunch break. In these moments, she revealed more disturbing details. Hurst had begun threatening her children, claiming he would hurt them if she told anyone about the abuse. She sent photos showing scratches across her back, bruises on her arms, and a swollen eye, each image accompanied by frightened texts begging friends not to call the police.
I'm not gonna lie, this is like a big problem that we have in like, not even just black community, just in the people and women community. Like this stuff happens so much and people don't even know. And women don't even feel like they are gonna get hurt when they speak about it, unless they call the police then. But sometimes in those cases, people, like the women don't want the person to go to jail. They don't really let nothing happen to them, so they don't call the police. They just tell people, like, yeah, don't call the police, don't call the police. But then you showing them, it's no point of like keep, going with the same situation if you know it's gonna happen, And then you obviously know it's gonna happen. You doing all this, you covering your body up and body marks on your face when you go to your grandma's house. It's just not, it's crazy. I'm just saying it, like it's just crazy that women really live like this. Like they have to go through stuff like this. It's crazy. It's nuts, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
By early October, Mary Jane's co-workers reported seeing her arrive at work with visible injuries. She began missing shifts, calling in sick more frequently.
I'm saying, like, even when you at work, you going to work with visible injuries, I feel like they should call. Like, your boss, anybody, co-worker, it don't matter who they is. If they feel like you in danger, they should call. And I get that people should say, stay out of my business, you got your own life, whatever. But when it comes to the situation right here and how it ended, it could have got nipped in the bud, that's all I'm saying.
When she did come to work, she wore heavy makeup and kept her head down. The final week of her life, she confided in her grandmother, "If anything happens to me, look at Hurst.
Right.
He's not who we thought he was." The truth about DeWayland Hurst emerged through a connection no one had initially seen. Hidden beneath his facade of caring boyfriend lay a devastating link to Mary Jane's past. Hurst was the half-brother of Diajuan Triplet, the man Michael King had killed in 2020. This wasn't just a relationship gone wrong. It was revenge, 4 years in the making. Every moment Hurst spent with Mary Jane and her children had been part of his plan to strike back at King.
I said this.
He had deliberately sought out the mother of King's child, knowing that hurting her would cause King the same pain he felt when his brother died. The timing of their chance meeting at the convenience store, his interest in her children, his encouragement of the prison video calls, all were calculated steps in his vengeful scheme.
It's crazy.
Police later discovered that Hurst had spent months researching Mary Jane before approaching her. He knew her routines, her struggles as a single mother, and most crucially, her connection to King.
This nigga really did research. When Lil Reese said, do your research, this nigga really did research, gang. This nigga really did research. It's crazy, bruh. This nigga, like, he had a plan all along, like I said. I knew what he was doing. He was in, right, listen, nigga, man, bro.
Mary Jane worked to maintain a peaceful co-parenting relationship with her children's father. Hurst silently plotted how to use this very connection to execute his revenge. At this moment, I need to pause this devastating revelation to address something crucial. Revenge can destroy multiple lives, creating ripples of tragedy that affect innocent people, especially children. If this story has impacted you, take a moment to share it with others who need to hear this warning. Hit that like button if you believe these stories need to be told to raise awareness about hidden dangers in relationships. Subscribe to join our community dedicated to preventing similar tragedies through education and awareness. I'm curious, what warning signs did you notice in Hurst's behavior? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight could help someone recognize dangerous patterns in their own life or the life of someone they love. October 4th, 2024 began as an ordinary Thursday at the Teakwood apartment complex. At 7:30 a.m., neighbors reported seeing Mary Jane taking her children to school, returning alone to her apartment shortly after. Security cameras captured Hurst arriving at the complex at 8:15 a.m., carrying what appeared to be breakfast, a routine he had established over the past months. By 9 a.m., Mary Jane had made several calls to friends, her voice tense during these brief conversations. Text messages from her phone showed she had tried reaching out to family members, though most messages went unsent, deleted, before completion.
Wait,
At 10 a.m.,
is she texting it and deleting it because she don't want to go to jail? Or if, like, is he taking the mess? Is he taking her phone? It don't make sense. She got to be deleting it.
Up her children early from school, claiming a family emergency. The next hour proved critical. Between 10:30 and 11 a.m., multiple neighbors reported hearing raised voices from Mary Jane's apartment. At 11:15 a.m., a video call connected from the prison where Michael King was incarcerated. What happened during this call would set in motion the final, fatal sequence of events. The video call at 11:15 a.m.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, 100.
Captured the moment Hearst dropped his facade entirely. As King connected to speak with his son, Hearst deliberately moved into frame, positioning himself behind the child. The footage, later recovered by investigators, showed Hearst's calculated transformation from pretend father figure to revealed tormentor. "Remember me?" Hearst taunted King, his voice carrying none of the warmth he'd previously shown the children. "Remember what you took from me?" In the background, Mary Jane could be heard trying to intervene, her voice rising with panic as she realized the danger. The call captured her desperate attempts to protect her child. "No, get away, baby, no, get away from him." Then came the sound that would haunt everyone who later viewed the footage. The sharp crack of Hearst striking King's son, followed by the child's cry of pain and confusion.
Come on, gang. You hit the little boy. Bro. You could have got one of his homies, his cousin, his brother, anybody. You go to his son and hit. Oh, man.
Mary Jane's scream filled the background as she rushed to shield her child. The video call ended abruptly, cutting off just as Hearst turned toward Mary Jane. The next moments in apartment 247 turned fatal. At 11:30 a.m., neighbors heard what they thought was a gunshot. Multiple calls flooded emergency services, with residents reporting screams followed by complete silence. First responders arrived within minutes, but they were already too late. When police entered the apartment, they found a scene that contradicted initial reports. There was no gunshot wound. Instead, the Harris County medical examiner would later confirm that Mary Jane Collins died from blunt force trauma and a single stab wound. The murder weapon, a kitchen knife, was found in the sink, recently washed. The apartment showed signs of a desperate struggle. Furniture was overturned, a coffee table shattered. Mary Jane had fought for her life, evident from defensive wounds on her hands and arms. A broken phone lay in the corner, its screen cracked from impact. Her final attempted call for help never completed. The most chilling discovery came from the apartment's security camera footage. It showed Hearst leaving calmly through a back exit, taking an evasive path through neighboring properties. The most heartrending aspect of this tragedy was that Mary Jane's two young sons were present during their mother's final moments.
That's even crazier. They just watched their mom go out like that by a dude that they probably trusted, by a dude that they looked at like a father figure just because of he was there. Like, it's crazy that this situation even happened to her, even to the kids, bro.
Huddled together in their bedroom closet by first responders, the boys had followed what their mother had screamed at them to do: hide and stay quiet. The older child, barely 9 years old, had covered his younger brother's ears and eyes, trying to shield him from the sounds coming from the living room. When officers found them, the older boy was still whispering comforting words to his brother, repeating what his mother had always told them: everything will be okay. The impact of witnessing such trauma would require long-term professional support for both children. The older son, who had watched the video call confrontation and his mother's desperate attempt to protect them, carried the additional burden of having seen Hearst's true nature revealed. Both boys were taken into the immediate care of their grandmother, who would later describe their night terrors and fear of closed doors. Their presence that day added another layer to Hurst's cruelty. He had chosen to act while knowing the children were home, making them witnesses to their mother's murder. The investigation into Mary Jane Collins' murder began immediately, with detectives focusing on the discrepancy between reported gunshots and the actual cause of death. The initial assessment at the scene revealed that Mary Jane had died from blunt force trauma and a stab wound, not gunfire, as neighbors had reported. Detectives quickly identified DeWayland Hurst as their primary suspect, piecing together the connection between him and Michael King through database records. The prison video call provided crucial evidence documenting Hurst's presence in the apartment and his violent behavior just before the murder. Investigators discovered that Hurst had planned this crime meticulously. They found evidence that he had researched Mary Jane's routine months before approaching her, including notes about her schedule and her children's activities. The investigation also revealed that Hurst had created multiple social media accounts to monitor Mary Jane's online activity before ever meeting her, proving the premeditated nature of his actions.
That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It's your boy Tone2loc. I'm gonna get it on the next one.